an artist, a journalist like myself was 10 years ago. Now, subversion is an activity which is a two-way traffic. You cannot subvert an enemy which doesn't want to be subverted. If you know history of Japan, for example, before 20th century, Japan was a closed society. The moment a foreign boat comes to the shores of Japan, the Imperial Japanese Army politely tells them to get lost. And if American salesman comes to the shore of Japan, let's say 60 or 70 years from now back, and says, oh, I have a very beautiful vacuum cleaner for you, you know, with the good finance.
Holy God.
Hey guys. Hello everyone. I was scared of the kids. You read the title. You read the title. This is Jay's doing something. I made a video on him earlier, and by earlier I mean like how many months ago was that? Like 2 months ago or something?
A while ago.
Yeah. So, you know, we're gonna play Splitgate because I'm too lazy to make a background for this stream, so
There's like commentary videos from like the early 2000s or like early 2010s.
Yep.
I'm starting. Let's do it.
All right, bet. So,
Quick.
tell us a little bit about yourself, Jay.
All right. Yeah. I've been doing like online content since I was 9.
You've been doing it since you were 9.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
And my channels kept getting deleted because YouTube noticed that I was not 13 yet. My second channel got deleted when I was like, how old was I? I was like 12, but I was like a week away from turning 13, so I finally just waited. And that's the channel that I have today. I've went through many different things, you know, short films, gaming, politics. I've been through many avenues of content creation.
Okay. So like, what interests you the most? I guess is the best question.
I guess like entertainment, I guess. You know, I did not have the easiest time growing up. I was like kind of a movie holic, and I was like, you know what? I should make these. I should try making movies. And then the closest thing I got was YouTube stuff.
Oh, I got you. If you don't mind, would you care to elaborate on the oh boy, game chat, guys. This was a bad idea.
Yeah.
This was a bad idea. This is a terrible idea.
How do we mute? I'm reporting these people for swearing as SplitGate. I'm reporting. Get nuked. Anyway, what were you saying? Yeah, there's a way to mute. Settings.
I don't know how to mute.
Audio.
Rip.
Voice chat. Off. Is there an off button? Whatever. We'll be fine. All right. What was your question gonna be?
Oh yeah. So, if you don't mind me asking,
Open.
do you care to elaborate? I'm sorry. I think I hear an echo.
There's an echo? Hello?
I'm so sorry. Yeah. So, could you elaborate on the childhood thing?
Yeah. Okay. So just to make sure my voice is okay now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So growing up, I was just raised by my mother. You know, I think my mother, there was a Karen took the kids moment.
Okay.
I think my mother, you know, left with me when I was 2.
Oh.
And we stayed in Indiana for a good portion of that. Is where I was born, and we moved to Alabama when I was around 7.
Okay.
Alabama was much tougher when it came to poorer people. It was a lot harder to, you know, make a living. So we, you know, while Indiana, we were kind of so with Indiana, it's like you're stuck, right? There isn't really like you can't really be, you know, it's kind of you'll be okay if you're poor, but it's hard to not be poor.
I see
And
what you're saying. There's just a large disparity, right?
Yeah, there isn't really a lot of opportunities, but the opportunities that are there will keep you from like going homeless. So because of like there not really being any opportunities, we moved to Alabama. And the thing with Alabama though is it just didn't the pay didn't really pay for the housing. So we kind of went from house to house. You know, we lived with my mother's. First, we started to live with my uncle, but he got pretty bad into drugs, pretty bad.
Oh, okay.
And I thankfully I don't remember anything about it, but he was starting to get like, he was starting to get angry. He was very hostile towards like, you know, people that, you know, loved him. And we're like, I'm sorry, we can't do this anymore. Great guy. He's better now. You know, he just got married a while ago. Yeah, he's clean. But so we went from house to house. After that, you know, we went to a couple different people. There was, you know, a couple exes that with my obviously my mom was dating them at the time that we stayed with. One lady that was a really bad experience for me was my family friend's mother, Joanne. She was very strict, I should say.
Okay.
Growing up, I was like I wasn't like mean or anything to people, but I was a troublemaker, I guess. You know, like I was, you know, I would talk back to teachers. If something didn't make sense to me, I'd tell them I didn't think it made sense, and that got on their nerves. So I was put in a Catholic school, basically just because I got bullied so much in public school that my mom's like, I don't want you to have to, you know, deal with that anymore.
Why'd you get bullied? You sound like you sound like some I can't speak correctly. You sound like someone like that kids would like kind of be like gravitate towards, you know?
Well, I think a lot of kids found me annoying. I was a yapper.
Okay.
If it says anything, I was very often, you know, which I'm glad, by the way. I think I'm glad I was kind of able to be my silly self, but I was very often recommended. My mother was very often recommended by teachers to medicate me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did that ever like go anywhere, or like was your mom?
No, my mother.
Like, okay.
My mother refused, and
all right.
I'm not going to say anything on it because I've never taken medication, so I don't know really what it's like. So for people who do that, you know, good for them, but I don't want that, so I'm kind of glad.
I got you. Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, teachers did not like me. And I was in a Catholic school, and they would get mad at me all the time. And my mother basically said to this, you know, this woman who helped take care of me, punish this kid, you know. If I get a red slip, there was a green slip, a yellow slip, and a red slip of this Catholic school.
Okay.
If you annoy the teachers once, basically, you get a yellow slip. 2 times or more, a red slip.
Oh.
Okay. You know, if you misbehave.
I got you.
Every kid got a green slip like every day, and when they got a yellow slip, they were like, "Oh my god, what?" I got a red slip every day. Ooh. My mom said, you know, yellow slip is fine, red slip, punish the child somehow. Joanne's way of punishing me was locking me in a room and not feeding me.
Oh, I'm sorry you had to go through that. That's
so, you know, and I mean, like, I'll try and have some mercy with like I'll be as literal as possible without being too dramatic, I guess. It wasn't like it was just it was a bedroom, and I got it every day. So because I couldn't help myself, so every day I would wake up, I'd have breakfast, and then I'd go to school. I'd have lunch at school, so I still got to eat something. But the moment I got in the car and they saw the red slip, I went in my room and didn't come out until that morning. How do we mute?
I thought I muted, dude. I literally turned down my master volume to 0, man.
It's audio.
Voice chat. Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay, here we go. I turned it off. Okay, we're good. We're all good. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
How'd you turn it off?
Oh, go to your settings, go to audio, scroll down to voice chat, and then just turn the VoIP volume all the way down.
Okay. Audio, voice chat, VoIP volume. Is it that?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Basically, I'd wake up, go to school, come home, and then back in room, and I'm not allowed to come out.
Oh wow. Okay.
I actually remember she passed away recently. I remember her husband was a lot not like she let it, like he didn't stop anything, like, you know, he allowed it. But I remember one night he woke me up and he's like, "Hey, you want to come out?" It was like 12, and he's like, "You want to come out and I'll make you a sandwich?" I'm like, "Yes, thank you." I remember that really well. Another thing I remember really well is one time I got a yellow slip, and I got in the car, and I'm like, I got a yellow slip. I got like excited at the prospect of being able to eat and watch Teen Titans Go, because yes, I was a Teen Titans Go kid.
I won't hold that against you.
But when I was in the car, you know, and like with a smile on her face, like a psychopath, she's like, "No, your mother said that you have to get a green slip." And, you know, like all the joy sucked out of my eyes. I remember that morning. The next morning, I was like devastated, obviously. And I saw my mom getting ready because we shared a room. She never got home until I was asleep. But this time I actually like saw her in the morning. And I was getting ready for work. I'm like, "Mom, why'd you change it? I thought I had to, you know, I could get a yellow slip." And she was like, "I didn't change anything. You can get a yellow slip. I didn't tell her to punish you for that." And I was like, "She didn't give me dinner and she didn't let me come out of my room again." And my mom was like, "Wait, what?" Like, to me, this was normal, right? Like, to me, this was just like, oh,
I mean,
this
you didn't know any better.
Parent. Yeah, to me, this was like a strict parent, you know? Like,
Yeah,
it was like, I didn't like it, obviously, but like, I didn't think it was like, you know, like abnormal. My mother obviously was like, "Okay, that's too much." So after, I think it was like maybe a week or two after that, we moved full time into her partner at the time's house, Jason. But yeah, I think that is kind of like my biggest, because I remember like really it just like the reason I got so into movies is because it really just did feel like no one was on my side other than like my mother, for example, because like kids at school hated me because at that age they were all suck ups in all the schools I went to, and the teachers hated me. So there was that. And I was just like, you know, so I didn't really have any friends, and I was just kind of like, I needed something to do. And that was really just kind of like Minecraft and movies and, you know, YouTube videos. Because
I got you.
Yeah, because I really got into YouTubers when I was like 12, because I was never able to play the newer games because I didn't have the newer consoles.
Yeah.
What really annoyed me, like, or what annoys me now looking back, is like, and I get it's not their fault, they're kids, but just that like kids really just have no concept of like I remember when I was with a kid one time, he's like, you know, I think fifth grade is when I was in fifth grade when like Fortnite really blew up. It was like fourth or fifth season.
Oh.
And I was like, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I like Fortnite." And I'm like, "What's that?" And like, "You don't know what Fortnite is?" And I'm like, "Is it on the Xbox 360?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "Well, I don't have an Xbox One." And they're like, "You don't have an Xbox One?" I was like, "No, to me, like the world of me having an Xbox One was like another world. Like I was so used to not having money, which I'm glad that, you know, I'd say I'm pretty grateful for what I have now. But yeah, like whenever I saw a gamer, sorry that I'm such a yapper, by the way.
No, keep going.
It's
man.
good for milking interviews, though.
I mean, hey, that is the point.
Yeah, but yeah. Sorry, I have the ball now. I'm focusing.
No problem.
like to me it was like other world. Like you see a gamer play a game online, right?
Yeah.
I was like, this is I will never play this in my life. Like this is he gets to play this because he's an online gamer. He has special access.
Yeah.
So like even it amazes me now when like a new game comes out and I can play it. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's a very brief summary of my childhood. Basically, we were just kind of dirt poor, and teachers hated me.
But I mean, other than like, how was the? I guess how was the social environment and everything? Like, did it change
How
at
was
all?
the
Like
what?
after, like later on? Oh, is my mic cutting out again?
Oh, it got better. Okay, wait, did like it change like what like me being like poor?
Oh no, I meant so like as you went through school, did it get any like better? Did it improve at all, or was it like mostly the same? Or
Your voice is breaking up bad.
is it really? I'm sorry. I'll repeat
Try
it again.
one more time.
I'll repeat it
random.
again.
Yeah. Let's
All right.
hear again.
All right. As you aged through the school system,
Yeah.
did it improve or did it kind of stay the same? The school experience, I mean.
Well, it was kind of it's hard to say because I mean not really because I mean I went online school when I was in 5th grade or after
Okay.
5th grade. So up to 5th grade, it was all the same. For 2 months I went back to middle school.
Mhm.
And it was a little bit better because not because I got better, like even to this day I still am like I'm still pretty I'm too much for some people. But in 7th grade, like what changed is that no, and not everyone was a suck up. In fact, it was the opposite, right?
Yeah.
5th grade, the coolest thing to do is to stick by the teacher. 7th grade, the coolest thing to do is say, "You suck, Miss Teacher."
Yeah.
So yeah, so for me, it was better because not everybody hated me, but a lot of people were annoyed by me. But there was a couple people here and there that were my friends, and sadly, almost none of them worked out in the future.
That's rough.
Dude, I need to tell you the craziest story about like one dude in my life. Oh my god.
Go ahead, elaborate.
This is like, oh my god, this okay. This story is just banana.
Okay.
Okay. So in 7th grade, I could sometimes you can look at someone and go, that kid's a weird kid.
Yeah.
And I'm a weird kid, so that's what I was looking for. So I saw this kid, he was like super short. I'll say Luke.
Okay.
As a nickname for him. So it was Luke. We sat next to him and he was like his sense of humor was insane.
Insane in what sense?
Like one time he just started saying Obama bin Laden and started laughing his ass off.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Like not like no actual meaning behind it. He wasn't like
Just kept
attributing
saying-
Obama to bin Laden. He just thought it was funny because it sounded like Osama bin Laden, but Obama bin Laden.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
one time he just said, "I pressed my booty cheeks against the microwave." That was his sense of humor.
Okay, so it's like LOL random kind of humor.
And at first I thought it was hilarious. At first, I mean, like I'd say it throughout.
But it gets old quick.
It does. It for a little bit it kind of transformed my humor because I'm like, oh my god, this is the funniest stuff I've ever heard. I need to take notes.
Yeah.
So for a little bit it transformed my humor until I was like, hey, maybe I should not. Anyway, obviously that's not the crazy part. So we became friends pretty quick. We actually, I still have videos with him on channels. We
Really?
made videos together. Yeah. But things started to change a little bit. Well, when we got into we were in 7th grade. 7th grade for my school is when politics got popular.
Ah, okay.
That's when everyone was talking about politics,
Actually, same for me. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was 7th grade. Which I guess makes sense actually, because 2020 election. That's why.
Yeah.
That was approaching.
Oh.
Because I think it was like 2019. No, 7th grade was 2020. So yeah, that's why. And I back then was, I was a conservative back then.
Yeah.
So I was kind of. Luke didn't know anything about politics, so I told them what I believed.
Mhm.
You know, and obviously what I believed back then is almost polar opposite to what I believe now. But Luke was there for my shift. I went from, you know, Republican to moderate to leftist very slowly.
Oh, okay.
Very slow shift. So Luke was there for that, but the whole time, what Luke saw was, because Luke idolized me for my views. Luke thought like, oh,
Mhm.
this is the smart kid. Because I was like back then, I'll say it, and I say this obviously as someone who disagreed with my former self and would debate the hell out of my former self. I destroyed every like leftist in my class because they all repeated their parents. When I was in 7th grade, I actually watched like Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder and shit.
Yeah.
So I did like, you know, I did destroy all of them. And
Mhm.
Luke looked up to that and, you know, got into politics and shit. So when I started the shift, Luke like lost his mind on me. Like genuinely like insane. And Luke was like said some like actual like Luke was starting to go bananas, like not like you know, your average like conservative, not someone like you, like general like hateful shit. Like all F words should, you know, commit Sudoku.
That's crazy.
So like, you know, it's like actual like bad shit, not just like conservatism.
Okay.
Um,
And
and obviously,
when did he start going crazy? Like same year?
no, we were friends for years.
Okay.
I'd say this was probably like 3 years ago, maybe
3 years
two.
ago. So what grade would you have been in at that time?
I was back in online school, and it was
Okay.
such a mess. My schooling was such a mess that I was like, it was an online program, and I stayed in 9th grade for like 3 years
Oh
before we were
wow.
like, okay, maybe I need to drop out.
Oh,
So
okay.
online school did not work for me. If I wish I stayed in public, but you know, I would have got bullied the hell out of. So I see why my mom pulled me out. Anyway, what was I gonna say?
You were talking about
Um,
Luke and some
right.
going crazy and everything, and
So
like when he went crazy.
eventually it's like the real time it didn't work was my ex, who's a whole different story. Do not get along now, but at the time we were very close.
Oh.
And we're both trans now, but at the time we were both male identifying, I guess. So either way, you know, it's gay. And Luke saw this, and like Luke
Mhm.
was like a psychopath. Like at one, like her head was on my chest at one point. That was it. We were laying down and her head was on my chest, and he crawled on the bed and stood on her.
That's so weird.
Thankfully, he
That's
weighs
weird.
like 3 pounds. I mean, she weighed like 2 pounds, but thankfully he weighed like 3, so you know she was fine.
That's such a weird situation
But
in
yeah,
general.
eventually it's like, dude, this isn't gonna work. We constantly argue, blah 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 blah. But little did I know, even after we stopped being friends, this dude is like hating me, like talking crazy shit. I'm getting videos from my friend Schroeder, who I'm still friends with, one of the very few people from middle school I'm still friends with, of him like ranting about how he watched my video and he thinks I'm a dumbass. It's like, no one's making you watch my videos, man. And then I get, you know, a message from a friend like, yo, we were in Target and we saw you. And Luke was wanting to stab you. And I was
You
like,
told me
what?
about this. That's right. I remember
Yeah.
this. Okay, I remember this.
Yeah.
Part. Okay.
And he's like, yeah, Luke had a knife and I had to like hold bro back from stabbing you and explain to him that like he'd go to prison and shit.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, the fuck? Like I don't even give a shit about this guy anymore. Anyway, finally after a while he like reaches back out to me, like, which he's tried to do forever. He tries to do all the time. I'm like, dude, what do you want? Like I'm tired of this. And he starts speaking all this cryptic shit like, I imagine that you'll respect the secret I'm about to tell you because we were friends at one point, and I hope that still means something now. I'm like, fine, what is it? And the only reason I'm not respecting his secret is because he respected jack shit of my secrets. So, anyway, he told me basically he told me that like he liked transgenderism as a fetish, and that the reason he hated anything like me talking sexually, not even like in a flirty way, but like in a joking way. And I don't mean like jokey flirty, just like lol, suck my balls. He's like, don't you do that? Don't say that. Is because it made him imagine it, and it was hot to him, and he didn't want to have to hear it.
I see.
And which is like, it's not even like he wasn't Christian either. He was an atheist conservative. So I'm like,
that is confusing, actually.
I never got that. Like, I've always thought that conservatism was kind of rooted in like Orthodox Christianity. I never got how, but anyway.
I mean, it has to be, otherwise. I mean, what else is he even basing his position
like
on?
that? Yeah, that's kind of the whole. But anyway, yeah, he was an atheist conservative. Literally, yeah, I don't know. And he's like, apparently he AI'd himself into like women's clothing and sent it to me. I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to do? Like, jerk off? No. And he offered me like, and he offered me oral. And I'm like, dude.
Oh.
I'm like, I don't know you, man. Like, I do know you actually, like, and in a really bad way. Like, we do not get along at all. Like, you know, like, I feel like you're gonna bite me. Like that, like, even if I did want to, like, that's just not even safe on my part. You're a psychopath.
Yeah, that took a turn.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I was thinking. Like I said, this guy is a book. Sorry, so you're not like family friendly or anything, right?
I mean, it's a little late to ask that now, ain't it?
I assume. Okay, wait. I mean, when I hear politics, I assume like not. Are you?
I try to be somewhat.
I should have.
Like,
okay,
fine.
this is like a
it's
true.
Fine.
This is like a true story.
Fine.
This is like a true story.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's not like you're like.
I'm sorry, man.
Up.
I should have asked. I'm just kind of used to it.
It's cool. It's still crazy though. I mean,
sorry, Broken's family.
Sure.
Sorry if Grandma's watching this. Yeah, I'll keep it down a little bit from now on. But
speaking of grandmas, you know the crazy thing is like most of my demographics are like 65 years old.
Most of your what?
Most of my demographics for like my videos apparently are like 65 years old, unless it's just people lying about their age.
That's awesome.
I know, isn't that crazy?
I mean, that does fit, like, you know, like since most younger people are progressive, I guess.
I guess.
Probably a product of that. But I mean, like, it's not like all conservatives are 60. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's kind of funny though.
I think a lot of us just lie about our age. In all fairness, though.
Real. Anyway, the rest of the story is like, you know, I'll keep it as SFW. I'll like talk about it in like an interview manner. You know.
All right.
I'll talk about it like I'm on the news.
Okay.
You know.
No, talk about it like you're most critical. Just like use goofy euphemisms. Yeah, so like the Yonky Splunky, and then you know, remember that one SpongeBob episode?
Yeah. Okay.
You gotta mention SpongeBob every 10 sentences.
Right.
You gotta meet the quota.
So anyway, he finally reaches out to me again, and I'm like, I can't help myself. I'm a pushover. I'm too curious about what he's gonna say, and then I'm too much of a pushover to like not like let him talk to me. So we talk, and you know, Kat.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Kat is been in some streams before. She makes content.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I really want to talk to Kat. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And I finally put them together. And, you know, eventually I'm like, I can't talk to you anymore because he's being so weird. And I cut him out. Kat's like, I won't cut him out just yet, but I feel like I definitely might eventually. And turns out...
You good over there?
My Pringles can, which is across the room, just fell. Okay, anyway. Turns out he was attracted to Kat. And I found like a a message from him to someone else that said something along the lines of, I just wanted to, you know, do the yoinky sploinky with
He
Cat.
actually said it. He actually said it.
To get
The
back
legend
at,
actually said it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue. I
Right.
apologize.
Yeah, to get back at Jay. Which that made me angry.
That is weird.
That made me so mad. I took some immature courses of action after that, but I don't know if that's like, if I should say this on your thing.
What do you mean? Can you?
Okay. Like, I took some immature, non-Christian course of action when I found out that he tried to do the yoinky splinky with someone that I loved.
Okay, you don't have to. Okay,
I
Going
thought of
forward,
that. I thought of that as like a okay.
You don't have to say that
no,
anymore.
I'm going with it now. It's awesome.
No, please.
I thought of it as like an eye for an eye situation, right?
Oh, okay. Say no more. Say no more. I got you. Say no more.
Yeah, he really hated me after that because unlike him, I succeeded. It's not like someone he was. It's not someone he was dating, by the way. It's just someone that
Like
he had a crush on. And she knew what I was doing. I made it clear to him, hey, I hate this guy. He's literally trying to ruin my life because he did it in many other ways, which I could bring up. But I'm like, can I just do this to mess with him? And she's like, bet.
Wow, exploit. 2024 hasn't been patched yet, guys.
But yeah,
yeah, that is.
He tried to ruin my life in a lot of ways. I got the most random accusations. Ones that, like, I didn't even want to share with people because I was, like, scared that they'd believe it. Because when you hear things like this, you think, oh my god, I gotta believe it. He was saying things like I want to shoot up a school, that I'm a pedophile.
That's wild.
And then later I find out that he gets expelled for 2 weeks for threatening to shoot up a school, and also I get reports that he was messaging he was trying to find
he was trying to find a cupcake.
He was trying to find people much older than him.
Oh.
The opposite direction, which is still pretty fucky, but you know, I'll let that, you know. I heard him say, to some extent, I don't want to go too into detail about what I heard him say.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to, like, expose the people that exposed him to me.
Yeah.
But basically that he wouldn't mind being in those older people's positions.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, everything he said about me, he hated that I, you know, stupid trans person, is just a fetish, school shooter, pedophile, all of it projection. Which I was very glad to clear up. I lost so many friends because they were like believed this psychopath, and then people found out he was a psychopath, and they're like, sorry for believing him. And I'm gonna be real, I did not forgive all of them, but I was like, you know, some of them I was like, okay, but I will remember that you believed him literally for no reason over me.
That is.
I had a friend who just stayed friends with him because he had a PS5.
That's okay. That's.
Which is kind of shitty, but it's also Luke, so. Anyway, yeah, there's the Luke story. Luke's a piece of garbo. How do you feel about the Luke story? You sound like you don't know how to respond.
Because I have like no clue how to respond. Actually, that's pretty.
Apologies.
That's kind of wild. I mean, like, I guess part of it makes sense. Like, if you're repulsed by yourself and your own.
Oh no, like projection's a huge thing. Yeah.
I mean, if you're disgusted by yourself, you're probably gonna be like very repulsed by others. You're gonna overcompensate.
Projection is like a huge thing among like like people who are like bigoted, you know, like I hate gay people. Okay, you're probably a lot of those people are gay. And I mean, like, I'm not saying like, you know, like self-proclaimed like anti-LGBTQ people. I'm talking like actually like what I'm saying is I'm saying I'm not trying to talk about you here. I'm talking about people who are actually like, I hate gay people.
No, I had jokes. If you're gonna say something, bro, I had jokes.
What were you gonna? Were you gonna pull out the gay jokes?
Yes, and they would have been glorious. but you missed your chance. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? I take all your questions and just go down a rabbit hole. I'm an interviewer's nightmare, but the audience's wet dream. I mean, the dream that they like. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's no, it's fine. It's totally fine. So
put 18 plus in the title.
No, I'm not doing that.
17 plus, like the old Brandon Rogers videos.
No, I'm not doing that. That's terrible. It's a terrible idea.
Okay.
It's a terrible idea. Because it
you're
implies
right.
things. It implies things.
People come in here like, what are y'all doing? I thought you were anti-LGBTQ. What are you doing in here? It's not what it's like. Okay, go ahead now.
All right, so all right, you went to Catholic school, and we did talk about this. We did talk about this like before about you being a.
Did you say
Christian.
The word Catholic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
sorry. All I heard was Catholic. It was breaking up.
Oh, sorry. So
I do want to say I went to a Catholic school because Joanne recommended it. My family is not Catholic.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, they're non-denominational. Really, they're just kind of Baptist, but they have a really bad experience with Baptists, so they call themselves non-denominational.
Okay. Now, okay, I'm a little curious now. What about this? What
about the bad experience with Baptists?
Yeah, was it like?
Did I talk about that? I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, I don't think it's not like people are gonna. My family has a really like my family story. Oh, of course, I was the last kill. Oh no, I wasn't second to last. My family story is messed up, man. Like bad. I'll give it a couple years. I'll say this much. I'll just say my grandmother was also a single mother. But she couldn't get help from the government because she couldn't let the government find her.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah. Just want you to know she's not like an immoral, like for nothing like murder or anything like that.
I like tax evasion or something. RICO. She was money laundering.
Yeah, you know what? I think I can get away with it, with our like one viewer. I think I'll be fine.
Yeah.
If it blows up in the future, it blows up in the future. She accused my grandfather of knowing yoinky sploinkying.
No, I hate that. I should have never said that. I'm sorry.
I actually shouldn't have used that word because I get this is a serious topic. My brain is just a little silly. I'm sorry. She accused my grandfather of SA with their kids.
And was it like a false accusation? Is that why?
Was it a what?
A false accusation? Was that why? Or like
the family's a little torn on that. I would say most say it's a false accusation, but like it's their dad, of course they don't want to, So I don't know. I choose to not get involved because I wasn't there.
Fair enough.
Because I mean the claims were made back when the kids wouldn't remember it if it happened, which is the reason why it's debated upon. But anyway, she went with a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
And the lawyer said, this is too many cases. You are filing too many cases against this guy. Let's stick with this case. This will work. If you file all these other charges, you're going to look nuts and they're not going to let you, But my grandmother was like livid, like she was not happy, right?
Oh.
So she fired the lawyer and got a lawyer who kind of went with whatever, whatever accusations that she wanted to file. And they filed more cases against him than they filed against John Wayne Gacy.
That's wild.
And she lost. And she took 6 out of 7 of their kids and left the state.
Oh,
And
okay. I see.
Yeah,
okay.
which was kidnapping.
I got you.
So that's why I'm saying, like, she's not a bad person, because, and I do believe, I don't know if whether or not it happened, but I do know for a fact that at the very least she thinks it happened. She is not lying.
Okay.
So that's why I was saying, like, it wasn't in bad faith. She's not a bad person. But yeah. Why where was it? What was the question leading up to that? Right. So they were very poor, and their Baptist church was something. They were very judgmental because my grandmother was both poor and a single mother.
Yeah.
A lot of the people in there were very racist. They went up to my like uncle and they were calling him an N-word lover for dating a black girl.
Oh.
Yeah, the church was bad. They were like anti-interracial marriage.
And where was this again?
Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the thing with Indiana is like, well, like Indiana, like there's a lot of really small towns in it, you know.
Yeah.
Where you can kind of get away with saying whatever you want. Which, you know, is good in some respects, but not so, you know, then people like that spawn. So a lot of the experience that my family had with Baptists was, you know, judgment and racism. So I think that's why they kind of go off of, they say, what's it called? Non-denominational.
Okay.
Which, I mean, you know, they're telling the truth. Like if it means anything to you, like my entire family is like conservative, and they're saying that the people who lived there were super racist.
I mean, I'll take it at face. I have no reason to like doubt you in that regard.
Yeah, like if I didn't think you would, like if I thought they were racist, but I thought you wouldn't agree with me, I would say like they had different values.
Yeah.
But no, they were like very much like I hate black people type people out there.
I got you,
dude. When I met my great grandpa, he's one of those people. I thought like I was going insane. Like I've never met someone who, until that moment, who was just so openly like, I hate these people. I hate those people. Those people are a bunch of those words.
That's crazy.
I'm just realizing this is the first time I died so far in this game. Not bragging, but that's pretty good. So yeah, what was the question again?
Baptism, and then eventually I was gonna.
That's the thing. That's why they don't like Baptists.
Okay. But
or are you asking why I'm not a Baptist?
Or a Christian in general now, I guess, because I know we talked about it a little bit, but you know, I figured.
Okay, I did not prepare for a debate.
Oh yeah, no argument or anything, just kind of like your personal anecdote or whatever.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna have to answer that question. I gotta say things you disagree with, obviously.
I mean, yeah. I'll try to restrain myself. I promise.
I mean, I'm fine if you want to, you know, have a follow up. Just, you know, bear in mind that I did not prepare.
Yeah.
For any, you know. Anyway, so growing up, I needed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I I kind of told myself I believed in Santa up until like 11 or 12, which, you know, is pretty old.
Yeah.
And that's not me saying it's the same to believe in that. Obviously, most Christians don't believe in Santa if they're over like 9, 8.
Yeah.
But It's me saying that I needed things like that. Like, I needed some form of hope. So there were a lot of things that, like, made me doubt for a very long time, but I kind of shoved it back and was like, and even though the Bible doesn't say this, even though the Bible, like, encourages you to question, I'll admit that. I told myself, that's Satan. That's the bad guy trying to bring out my demons. And how old was I? I think it's when I will admit it absolutely has something to do with my identity, right? But
Yeah.
it's not that, like, it's not that I don't believe because of my identity. It's not that I was like, oh, God doesn't support, being gay, I'm out. It's not that. It's that I was kind of, forcing myself to believe because I didn't see reason not to.
And then you saw reason to.
Yeah.
Okay. I can kind of see that.
Yeah. That's the story. Also, just because it's a thing of, like, my whole family's Christian. Most of my friends were. It's like I didn't want to have to explain to everybody that I didn't believe in that, so I kind of stayed in it. And like I said, I was really poor, and I saw so many cruelties in life, and I was like, there has to be some way that the people who've wronged me will get, punished in some way.
Yeah. I'm trying not to be argumentative here. I want to word I want to say something, but I'm trying to word it like I'm trying not to be like argumentative.
You're trying to be argumentative, but you're trying to be like you're trying to pull like a Dana Bash. You're like trying to like have an interview, but also like have like a tough interview.
Yeah, I kind of want to like put a little bit of pressure on you without being like argumentative, and it's very difficult.
I get that,
but this is gonna sound so brutal, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I'm sorry, but would you say
okay.
would you say like you believed in God like before when you were doing everything right, basically, right?
Well, your voice is breaking up. All I heard was, would you say
again? This microphone.
Now you gotta repeat it.
This microphone is terrible. Okay, so to summarize, this part isn't the part that I'm hesitant about, but so to summarize, you believed in God until you believed in God because you didn't see a reason not to, because you were doing everything right, basically, like in your eyes.
Huh?
Oh, not again.
You believe? I heard because, and then it cut off there. I did not want you to say this, man. But I mean, go for it though. I'm curious.
All right, because I lost my train of thought. All right, because you were doing everything right, basically, right? So you didn't really see a reason to not believe.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, basically,
Okay.
I was just like, everything I want to do is already lines up with what it says. So why not?
Okay. So could it be that like maybe you kind of like a part of you? I'm not saying like all of you or anything. I'm not saying that, but like maybe like subconsciously you were kind of like you stopped believing because like it was like inconvenient to what you wanted to do, like personally.
I mean, like I said, half yes and half no. Because the thing is, like, I really didn't in the first place, right? Like I told myself I did because I didn't want to have to tell my family that I didn't, and it really just made my life easier. It gave me hope, and I didn't have to tell all my friends and family, hey, I'm not going to be going to church anymore, that kind of thing.
Did you Could you expand on the giving you hope part? Like, was it kind of like you just weren't sure he existed, and you were just kind of like hoping he did, kind of thing, or was it like?
I knew deep, like with like when you're like the last year or last couple of years of believing in like again, I hate to use the comparison because I don't want it to be offensive. It's just the best one I can think of.
Not yet.
But the last couple of years of like believing in Santa, you're like, I mean, I don't really. It says a little bit, but like deep down, no, it's not. Doesn't make sense. But you're like, no, it's it's fun. So I'll keep telling myself that I believe in it. At least that's how I went through it. Maybe some people were just like, the minute they doubted, they just kind of were like, nah, I don't think Santa's real. But that's not how I was. I kept telling myself that because I'm like, I want heaven. I don't want to go nowhere when I die because that sounds horrifying. So yeah, and then the minute when I found out, I found out, oh, maybe I'm attracted to other genders, and maybe I'm not like I don't like to identify with what I was set to identify as. The Bible tells me to identify as. I was kind of like, okay, so I could either follow this and I felt like it was a choice between giving myself hope that I didn't really believe was there, or I could live the life that deep down I really believed I only had one of, and how I wish to live it. So I'm like, well, if I only have one, I don't feel like I should be putting rules on myself if I don't really believe that they have any meaning anyway.
I kind of get that. I kind of get that. If you're like, what's the word?
Like obviously, like it's harder. Like obviously, you do believe, so it's hard to. But yeah, you get what I'm at least where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I can. That's understandable, I suppose.
Yeah. Like in the universe, in your head, just think in the universe where God isn't real. This makes sense.
Yeah. So I guess my next question is like, when did you kind of like come to the conclusion? Is that the right word? Yeah, you know what? Yeah. When did you come to
just
the conclusion
decide that
just like
an atheist?
Yeah.
So.
Or actually, hold on. I have like the best. This is the question that'll ask 3 different questions at once.
Oh, your voice breaking up again.
Oh, okay. This is the question that'll ask 3 different questions at once. It's like the perfect question. Okay, so when did you decide like each?
Your voice is. You need to get a new mic, man.
It's fine when it's not on Discord. That's the problem.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe turn down your voice. Turn off like noise cancellation or something.
Maybe it needs a more basic one. Hold on, let me. Yeah.
Do you have it on crisp or something?
Yeah, it's on crisp.
Oh, try turning that off.
Yeah, let me do that real quick. Where is it at? Standard. All right. Is it better now?
I mean, so far, I don't. Okay. It's kind of random.
All right. So.
Oh yeah, last kill.
Nice. So my question is, how did you determine each descriptor, I guess, is the best way to put it? How did you determine you were each descriptor?
What does that mean?
Descriptor, like atheist.
Okay.
Gay,
all of them. All right.
Yeah, all of them.
Okay, I'll go through my journey here from one completely opposite side of the chart to the other. All right. So let's see. When I was like 9, I started doubting.
Everything or just God?
God, not like, I mean, I wasn't conservative yet. Like I wasn't.
Yeah, you're not.
So yeah, I started doubting in religion. And when I was 13 is when I went down the Shapibo pipeline. I mean, I watched all the right-wing guys other than the complete nut, like other than like the Alex Jones of the bunch. I watched all of them.
Alex Jones is awesome. I don't know what you're talking about.
But
let me get my soundboard out real quick. I'm sorry.
All right, yeah, you got
it
this.
warrants it. It warrants it.
You're good.
Why is it so far? I have like 20 million.
Building number 7, controlled demolition, guys. I'm telling you this.
Yeah. But what was I saying? Right. So 13 is when I was conservative because basically my parents told me to. It's funny because like I joke about this with my mom and she laughs, so I'm not like shit talking my mom here. But like she was like, oh yeah, I just want to teach you about politics, completely unbiased. Anyway, here's Ben Shapiro videos. It was like, so she showed me like, she told me, I think Trump's better, blah blah blah. And in my head, that's my mom, the one person who sided with me my whole life. So I'm like, okay, obviously she must be right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey mom, show me those guys you listen to, and I think they're funny. I grew up on iDubbbz, right? So
iDubbbz.
This was my shit.
Yeah.
Especially when I like saw them like. Honestly, if I'm just gonna be entirely like honest with my wording, I think this is fair. When I saw them just kind of making fun of trans people,
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah, bro, this is my shit. Content cop, this is where it's at. Like I was born from content cop, baby. So, but I was very much, I was addicted to the sploinking of yoinks, right? When one yoinks the sploink.
I hate this.
Why
did I say that? Why did I say that? I ruined this. Why did I say that?
I mean, like, I know the word addicted is like I know like it's a.
I know it's overused and stuff.
Whether it's like I know it's like a debate, whether or not like it's a serious extreme addiction. I'm not saying like I was an alcoholic.
Well, I mean, it is a serious addiction because you can develop like not a chemical dependency, but like you can. I think it's a chemical reaction you're addicted to. So I mean, I think that's plausible.
The way I look at it is, I think technically like any addiction is valid. Yeah. Like I'd say, like you can get addicted to video games. Is video games like a serious like pandemic that's happening? No, but like you can grow addicted to anything you enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, an addiction is mostly measured by like what you're willing to sacrifice.
Yeah, so I think you can be addicted to everything, but like I just wanted to like, I kind of wanted to, I maybe wanted to separate myself a little bit from those people online, like those like fitness YouTubers who are like, I was addicted to masturbating and now I hate women. Like, like those guys. Those guys.
That's
like, I just wanted to kind of separate myself from that for a second.
That's pretty wild.
But yeah, and so I watched that stuff a lot. And I went down the pipeline. And all the different goofy shit. And I always avoided, the gay, because I'm like, that shit sounds gross. Until one time, I forget why, I stumbled upon it accidentally, and I'm like, oh damn. I'm like, wait, no, that's bad. And I'd say I was like, how old? Like maybe 10 or 11. And I was like, no, this shit. When I finally
10 or 11.
Oh yeah, I was too young. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I was definitely. Internet is not very well guarded.
Wow.
It's very easy to access that stuff.
That's wow. All right.
I mean, no, I'll admit, like I saw it, like I started like first video like that I saw I was 8. It was the internet was way too easy to access because I heard about it from school. People telling me like, oh yeah,
from school,
different. Yeah, in school, like people tell you different in like elementary school, like what grade, like actually 3rd or 4th grade. Did you go to a Christian school or something?
No, I went to public school, but like nobody ever like I've never really run into that.
Like 3rd or 4th grade is when people were like, yeah, guys, listen, this is how this works. Oh yeah, men and women do this.
I mean, yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, of course.
And then I go home, and then I like, what if I looked that up on the internet on my grandma's iPad?
Oh.
And yeah, so that happened. My grandma was so mad one time she caught me. It was kind of funny. My grandma Karen.
Is that
Yeah, that's
did
her
you change
actual.
it or did you?
I did kind of. I just didn't mean to dox her name, but yeah, one time she was like, because I downloaded it, I guess, on accident, and she's like, I'm like, can I have the iPad? And she's like, you guys can't have the iPad anymore. I'm like, oh, well, why not? And she's like, someone downloaded something onto it.
Oh no.
And she was trying to hint at me, but like I was too like I couldn't. I had to know that she was talking about what she was talking about, so I was just on. I was just open. I'm just like, so what did they download on it? And I could tell she was getting annoyed, so she just looked at me with a wide open eyes, and she went, "A bunch of naked chicks." I'm like, oh, okay, oof.
It's crazy though.
Yeah. Anyway, right. Back to the right. So I found out that like I'm attracted to more than just women. I was 10 or 11.
Whoa. Okay.
13, I became conservative. Now, at this point, right, I haven't experienced any, like, opportunities IRL, right? Like, I was
Of
okay
course.
enough, yeah. So, like, when it came to the internet, like, I was like, okay, I can fight this battle. Like, this is fine. But, like, so I was still very, like, I still followed Christian belief. And then when I was 14, I was 13, conservatism came. 14, I was with someone else. We were both male identifying at the time. So I was like, we were kind of like, doing a silly cuddle. And I had feelings for this person. And I was like, okay, now that I'm actually like, in love, it's time that I seriously like think. Like, what do I believe in? Because like before, it's just kind of I'll go with whatever. Because it really it's just easier for me if I say Christian because my whole family is blah blah blah. At this point, though, it was like now it's okay. What do I believe in? So I think right then there I was just so in love with this person that I was just like I'll figure it out later. So literally on the spot, I was like, I'll admit it was on the spot. Like this moment for me was just because of that. The rest of my journey was, I decided, like I came to my own conclusions. But this moment was just I wanted to love this person, so I just said, okay, I'm agnostic now. That night, because it was kind of me saying I'm agnostic was me putting a pin in it because I knew I didn't want to stay that way. I wanted to come to my own conclusion, so I just said, okay, it's time for me to decide. Putting a pin in it for now, though. I am agnostic. I can't really, call myself Christian at this point. So I was maybe late third. No, I had just turned 14. And, we started talking more, me and this person that I was in love with. And she finally was like, okay, if we're going to, have anything, you need to know that I am a trans girl. And at this point, it was like, whoa. Right, because I was still very conservative, and I had already had like trans friends at this point. Like for me, it was like a thing of So before this, like at first when I was conservative, I was like, oh yeah, if I find a trans friend, I'm just and they tell me to call them what they want to be called, I'm gonna refuse because I'm a good conservative. And then I came across actual trans people, and they asked, hey, actually call me these pronouns. I just couldn't bring it in me to not call them that because at the time. I didn't believe they were that thing, but it was like, it's not hurting me. I'm just going to call them that, So I was still conservative, but if someone wanted me to call them something, I would call them that.
I got you.
But if I'm going to date a trans person, obviously that goes a little deeper. We have to have the same fundamental values on who that person is.
Yeah.
So I basically said, I don't know. I got to think about it. And, they did end up dating someone else anyways, but, and we dated at a much later time, but, I had to like, either way I was like, okay, but I still need to figure out where I stand on all that stuff. So I thought, who better than like, the people, I heard conservatives talk about why transgenderism is wrong all the time. And on the surface, it is weird. Like, moderate position is like, you know, it's weird, right? Like, because you hear that, you know, your whole life, men are this, women are this, and then someone says, actually, I'm flipping that on his head. You're gonna go, okay, that's weird. I need to hear more. So I'm like, all right, I'll talk to just trans people. Talk to just trans people. I will talk to trans people. And I did, and I kind of understood it a lot more, right? I got them, because before I didn't. You know, I only watched, the only exposure to trans people I got was that like one friend, and you know, a couple other friends I talked to before that, and then all the conservative videos that I watched on trans people, which were obviously a little biased. Nothing against like you know, all political media is biased. So so I looked into that a little more, and I started looking into more commentators. And I guess the more people I looked into, I suppose I felt more understood by the progressive side, you know?
Yeah.
Because when it came to me being an atheist, or me being you know, bi, and then me even gender questioning at that time, obviously now I've mostly figured it out. You know, I was like, okay, this side definitely sees me more. Like the other side, like, you know, conservatism kind of goes against everything I believe I am. So it's hard to justify being a conservative with you know, the person that that person that I am. I mean, you have your Caitlyn Jenners out there, I guess, but
Yeah, your Blair
I don't
Whites too.
yeah, but it's just not, you know, it just didn't feel right, I guess. And when I looked more into it, like, I think the way that I look at it now, because I don't want to be someone who just follows something because, you know, I don't want to be like a one issue person, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can be independent. Maybe you agree with one side on this, one side on that. So, like, sometimes I do think, like, I'm not just with their side because they like me, right? But then I have to remember that, like, in that case, I'd be like a Democratic Party loyalist. I disagree with shit Democrats, with stuff Democrats, sorry. I disagree with stuff Democrats do all the time, constantly. But I think it really is just, I only watched conservatives, but when I, you know, met more people, I finally allowed myself to listen to progressives, and I just happen to agree with the progressives more. Again, I know I'm an absolute yapper, but at least it's good for interview length.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Hi there. Wow. Okay. So, I mean, wow. It sounds like you moved like pretty fast. Like you started out doing like everything kind of like younger than normal.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant like
not to call you abnormal. Sorry, I meant like.
No, you're fine.
What I mean?
I thought you meant like, for a second, I thought you meant like I turned from like conservative to leftist in like a day. I'm like, I wasn't.
Oh, no, not like that.
But yeah, no, I did look into politics and stuff pretty early.
So I do have like a question. Like, how did everybody react to you? Like, what do they call it? What do they call it? What do they call it? Social transitioning, I think. Is that what it is?
Oh, how do people react to?
Yeah,
social transitioning is basically, you know, changing pronouns, stuff like that. Like nothing medical or surgical.
Yeah.
It depends on the person. I've gotten a lot of reactions.
Like, did anybody try to like sit down and like talk to you about it? Like in the sense of like ask you like why you feel a certain way?
Honestly, to be honest with you, I think both sides didn't really talk to me, because like I have some friends on one side of the spectrum. I will admit this was the way people talked to me on both ends was very polarizing. My more progressive friends, which I understood, they just wanted me to have my own journey. I'm sure if I asked for them for help, they'd give it to me. But I was like, hey, I think I might, I'm looking into, I'm gender questioning, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh, okay. Good luck. I'll call you. They're like, I'll call you whatever you want to be called. I hope you figure it out. And people on the right were definitely, I mean, like, I understand, I'm not trying to say they're all the same, but all the people that I knew on the right
just
were
like
definitely
very just like no, just stop, just like go back, kind
Yeah.
of thing, right? Okay. So would you say that like the combination of like your left-leaning friends kind of like enabling you basically is the best way to put it, like just not questioning you at all, and then like your right-wing friends kind of like being like the complete opposite? Would you say that kind of like contributed to
what I said?
that?
What I'll say is what I did because of that is, like I said, like, to be fair to my left-wing friends, I did not ask for like any help. I just kind of told them like, hey, I'm figuring this out, and they're like, okay, great, I'll support you on your journey.
I mean, and most of your friends are peers too, right? So I mean, like, you can't really expect like a therapist or something.
Wait, most of my friends are what? Sorry,
I said most of your friends are like your peers. They're like around your age too. So I mean, it's not like you can expect therapists or anything. Like,
So yeah. For the most part, I just kind of I told myself like, I'm gonna figure this out, right? Because I did need to take a little while, because like there was a point where like the only people I had were like all trans, and I'm like, I need to make sure, like this is actually what I feel like I am. And I did a lot of searching, and I definitely, I mean, I was 14, now I'm 17. I definitely feel like that's, very late 14. I guess a lot did happen when I was 14. God damn. But yeah, gosh darn. Dang it.
It's all good. Don't worry
I'm
about
trying.
It. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, yeah, it was just kind of, I decided, I just need to kind of figure this out on my own. Because I didn't like I wanted to make sure that no one I didn't want people that I asked to be biased, And when it came to friends, I felt like they were all kind of like, there's not a lot of trans people out there, right?
Like I'd say, like roughly 1% of the United States population,
right.
I think.
So yeah, so like, I'm sure that like my trans friends would have liked to have a person to relate to. Meanwhile, conservatives believe that, they're like, they thought that I was gonna, like, I don't know, cut my things off or something. So they were like, no, you can't be that thing.
What is your stance on that, by the way? Like, are you planning on doing that in like the future, or like?
So top surgery, not bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be one of those. A word I probably can't say. But yeah, because I mean, like,
safest bet if you change your mind, my opinion.
That's fair. So yeah, I'll do upper but not lower. That's the plan.
So have you, like, I guess, what made you kind of like start like questioning in that way?
I mean, like, obviously there's the, everyone has like most trans people will be able to tell you, like, I had signs from when I was younger, which I do. Like, when I was younger, I was definitely more interested in being more feminine. But like, as I got old.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
I was gonna say, as I got older, once I met more trans people and I kind of like opened my eyes to it. It's a simple, like, and this is like I said, obviously this experience is different for everybody, right? All trans people have like their own meaning to what they are. To me, it was really just a simple preference. For me, it was very simple. For me, it was, I vastly prefer, being referred to as, you know, she, her, being treated like a woman, the wearing, you know, females' clothing, yada, 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 yada. Simple things like purses, you know, and it for me, and like, again, that is very different for everyone, but for me, it was just simple preference and body. You know, I'd prefer at least the upper half of a woman's body.
There's like and there's like no like other like reason behind that or anything, or like
for me, it's like, again, this is very much like I can't hammer in hard enough. This is very much personal. Like, to me, it's different for everyone. But I feel it is really just hard to explain. Like for instance, if you got magically, you know, chromosomes switched or whatever, you're a woman now. You would be like, okay, but I feel like a man. I'm still a man, you know, like I grew up a man, blah 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 blah. That is kind of how I feel, but just the opposite way, right? It's like it's hard to explain. It's like anyone who has their body switched will feel the same way as like a trans person.
I mean, I get the concept of like gender dysphoria. I guess what I'm just asking is like, how did you know that it was gender dysphoria, not like body dysmorphia or some other mental disorder?
I suppose it just kind of all lined up, right? I decided that, you know, like I've experimented, you know, I've experimented living as a woman as much as I could, you know, in the current situation I'm in. I still plan on waiting a long time before I do any surgery stuff. Trying to kill this guy right now, sorry. Where was I saying? Right. What was this thing? How did I figure it out? Yeah, I just did a lot of experimenting because I decided, like, I just kind of thought to myself, I think I'd be happier living the way your average woman does. And I experimented with it, and I just felt that I was right. You know, I was like, yeah, I am happier doing these things. I'm happier being seen as a woman. I feel like, you know, more me than I really think I ever really felt.
So like, did the genesis of those kinds of thoughts, they just kind of like appear one day, or like how did that?
So they were all there always. I just didn't know what they were. Like, I never really felt like I knew who I was, but I didn't know why. You know, I didn't know that it's because I was, you know, because I mean, when you're born, there are certain things expected of you, right?
I suppose.
Based on based on like, you know, your gender, it's like you are sort of expected to do certain things, hold certain standards. And I have just always struggled to meet those standards and feel the urge to meet those standards, you know? Even if it's just simple stuff, even if it's like the most basic stuff, like the stuff that doesn't really like scratch the surface, right? Like simple man activities, you know, it's just nothing. I always felt so weird and out of place. Like I felt like
well, see, I don't think that's like too abnormal though. Like,
and I'm again, that's like not scratching that's plus all the other things I'm saying. That's when
I got you.
First, yeah, that's to answer your question of when I first noticed something. Like every time I was with men, you know, even just in elementary school when I was in the boys team, I always felt like what am I doing here? Why am I on this side? And I don't, looking back, like I knew something was off, but I didn't know that's what it was. I was like, I felt out of place, but I didn't know it's because I wanted to be on the other side.
I'm trying not to be redundant, and pardon me if I am being redundant. But I
Okie
guess
dokie.
like, when did you like? I guess like, what I'm trying to like, when did you realize all of that time that that's what it was? I guess.
It was kind of like a slow, like when I was like 14, 15, I was kind of like, okay, something's up here. And I was kind of like thinking like, like a lot of these experiences that trans women have are extremely similar to mine.
Hmm.
And that's kind of when I looked into it, and again I just kind of decided, yeah, I'm just kind of happier this way. Like looking at it like from, it was like a, why would I choose a path of life that or why wouldn't I choose the path that seems to make me happier?
Hmm. So, did you like talk to your mom about it or anything like that, or like was it just mostly like to yourself?
I mean, I knew she was conservative, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I did finally, but not because I didn't have to. It's like it's because I had to, because she found out in one way or another.
Hmm.
Needless to say, she was not very, understanding. And I guess I've had that issue with my mom before. Like, whenever because, for instance, when I told my mom I was bi for the first time, I was 14.
Yeah.
I told her, Mom, I'm bi. And she said, no, you're not. And I was just like, yeah, I am. Yeah, Mom, I am. And she had a very similar approach to the trans thing.
Hmm.
But she kind of covered that up she sort of covered that up with, like politics, right? Like, the gay thing was a denial, but like, most conservatives, like, they don't care if you're gay, really. Like, anymore. So my mom, like, she was very much in denial, but she didn't cover it up with anything. She was just kind of like, no, you're not. With this trans thing, she was also very much in denial, but it was more of like a, shit, hold on. This game is so hard.
No
This game mode.
problem.
Da 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 da.
Next time we gotta get Minecraft up and running again.
Yeah.
Much easier to concentrate that way.
Yeah. But she was very much like every time like I talk to her about it, I feel like I'm having a political debate, and rather than like talking, which I get, but it's like it's sort of a thing of like, hey, this is about me, not but that's kind of the way I felt, I guess, about it. Was like I talking to her about it very much felt like it did, I guess, with all my other conservative friends. Is the best way to put it.
I kind of see that. Yeah. I can. Oh no.
Oh.
But
I
can kind of relate to that, honestly. In
I mean,
some
like,
ways.
I get like a lot of it was concern, but obviously I felt at first. I feel like since like I talk to this woman every day, right? And let's be honest, obviously, as the trans person, I have done more research on trans stuff. So I've talked to her about it enough now where it's just kind of like now at this point it's like I just kind of, it's almost like trying to kill you. I was kind of a thing of like it very much feels like I'm not trying to like every question you ask ends up just turning into me venting. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm not trying to vent in the interview. but it feels like a thing of like, are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Like it's like a thing of like I can tell she is worried. It's just I don't think it's validly placed worry. It's like a thing of like I feel like you're worried over nothing.
So I mean, like, what kind of thing? Well, see, I don't know. I disagree.
I mean, because like if she was worried over like for instance, if I said, "Hey, mom, I'm actually like," I feel like any mother, it's fair to get worried over your child getting surgery, like trans surgery. I understand that totally. She's going to be like, "Are you sure this is what you want?" Because yeah. But when it comes to like, "Hey, mom, I wanna wear this. Don't wear that." It's like, what are you scared that's gonna happen? And what she usually tells me is something along the lines of like, well, I think this is just a phase. And I'm like, mother, even if you are correct, let's say this is a phase. You know what happens when parents you should, if it's a phase, then let me go through it, right? Because you know what happens when you don't let your kids go through phases? When they get older, they double down on it. It's like, so if this is truly a phase, which I do not believe it is, but if it is truly a phase, let me, live it out, I guess. And she just kind of hasn't listened to that.
I kind of see where you're coming from.
I mean, obviously, I'm assuming you're gonna disagree with me a little on that, but like,
yeah, I am. I kind of see your mom's point of view a little bit, in a bit more of a positive light. I guess is the best way to put it. Just because I feel like, I mean, there is some room for concern. I mean, because if I'm sorry. Try not to be argumentative. I promise.
No, I get it.
But if I, oh hi, but if I,
yeah.
But it was different back then because like trends were somewhat like phases were somewhat like kind of like they weren't really like encouraged. Like if there was some like if someone was going through like an emo phase, it would just be like a teenager going through an emo phase. Like they wouldn't be like praised and like encouraged to like continue with it up until like adulthood and everything.
I mean, like, I feel like my thing with that is like, I wouldn't say I encourage it, but I don't like.
Oh no, I didn't. I'm sorry. I didn't mean you. I didn't mean you or anything.
No, I know. Well, I mean, when I say encourage, it's like I'm not gonna discourage. Like, it depends on what you mean by emo. Like the look, because like I think emos look awesome, so I don't like. It's like
no,
if
I
they,
just meant like
the everything sucks attitude.
The angst, yeah, the angstiness and everything. That's kind of what
I mean, like I don't think it's encouraged per se. I mean, it depends on from who. I mean, okay, well, I don't know if I should be thinking of the emo example in particular. My thing with like this is like, again, even if it is encouraged, like then what happens? Like I think it's like a thing of like first off, like the arguments I hear all the time never really match up, even from like the same person, like my mother. One day it's I feel like you're just doing this to fit in. The next day it's I think you're just doing this to stand out, which are two polar opposites. And it's like I feel like very much like, again,
I can kind of see like both sides.
I mean, for some people,
I don't know you like too well, so I can't even like I can't speak to that. But I don't think you're that kind of person that's just like chasing a fad or anything.
I definitely wouldn't. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna say that I think I'm chasing a pattern, but like, no, I'm pretty honest with myself. I'd like to say, as of at least in the recent years, if I disagree with leftists on some stuff, there are some issues that I'm like, no, guys, you're wrong. I feel like if I was trying to like fit into a box, that I would, I would do a better job at it. Like even as I consider myself like, a trans girl, I would still consider myself like a more tomboyish one. Like not like I don't like not like with everything, but there are definitely like I'm gaming with you right now. That's considered a more tomboyish activity. You know, for girls. All is coming to mind right now. But you you get my point,
Yeah.
right? Like if I wanted to fit into a box, I'd fit into one much heavier is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. See, I don't know how to. I just feel like maybe you were like introduced to those concepts too young. That's my personal belief.
I think it's a good thing because, like, I mean, you're gonna see it in the real world, right?
Well,
like,
I mean, I had the way you were introduced, though. Like, to me, it just, I don't know. To
well, like in
everything,
what
I
way?
guess.
Because it's not like I was like 9 and like trans people coming up to me. I mean, I didn't even
No,
meet
not like that.
like.
I just meant like on the topic of like sexuality in general. You were just like, it
Oh,
came to you
well,
pretty
I mean,
pretty.
porn for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a bit faster than usual. So I think that
I mean, but I
now
don't think that's.
I'm not a therapist, so like, you know.
No,
whatever.
I agree. I was too young. I mean, there's
feel like
an
that-
age restriction in some states around those things for a reason.
Yeah.
You
I just
know,
feel like
I'm
that
just saying.
could have contributed to something. Maybe not like. I'm not saying that's even like a main thing or whatever. I'm just saying that maybe.
The reason I disagree is because like people online like yoinking each other's floinkies is like
Stop, please.
is like okay is like far different from like love, right? We can agree on that.
I mean, yeah, sure.
So I don't think that would explain like me like
how do you
having feelings for both.
Well, sure, yeah, but how do you know what like love is in that sense?
Well, love is a chemical, I guess. Obviously I'm not like a.
Well, is it or is lust a chemical?
I mean, they both are, aren't they? Like, okay, I'm not a. What's the word I was looking for? What's the? I can't think of the word. I'm not a. I don't study this, right? Like, I don't know exactly like how to define. I guess my description of love is someone that I would die for, that I want to spend my life with, that I care about more than myself. That, in my opinion, is like someone I love.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't particularly like. Okay, I don't particularly have to love them more than myself to love them, but I have to love them more than myself to like be in love with them. If you know what I'm saying. Like the way I like, you can.
I don't follow. Are you differentiating romantic love with like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that one cousin.
You.
That one cousin you never see. Like if you're both at like a family gathering, you might say I love you, but would you take you never see it, bro. Are you gonna take a bullet for him? It's person to person, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just separating it romance from so that in my opinion is love. And I've absolutely felt that for people all over the gender spectrum.
I mean, but can it like does it have to be like romantic love? Is my question, I suppose.
What do you
how
mean?
did you I guess how did you know? How did you differentiate the two? When you were like
from
when you were
lust?
younger. When you were younger, I should say.
Oh, when I was younger, I didn't. When I was younger, I didn't know.
Like, well, younger as in like 14.
Oh, I mean 14. Like you can.
And I just mean like romantic with like plutonic, like admiration and things like that. Like how did you differentiate the feelings? How did you know? I guess.
Like even when I was 14, I didn't know. Like I knew I was part of LGBTQ, but I didn't know if it was like, I didn't know if I was gay, bi. I didn't know like, I didn't fully know yet. Because I hadn't experienced love yet. So it took me a while. Obviously I had crushes, but I was like, okay, but is this crush really real? Is this someone I would like? Can I actually see myself like wanting to spend my life with some of these people? Could I see myself wanting to spend my life with a man? That did take a while. It wasn't right off the bat. I guess it just took me getting close enough to people to be able to actually like imagine myself spending my life with them to be like, okay, yeah, this is. So I would say I was maybe 15 when I like fully like it like felt like, okay, this is someone I really love.
So I guess like, so what started like you kind of like thinking those kinds of thoughts though?
I mean, I guess
Like
this the thing
questioning
that like
yourself in that way.
I've questioned myself like that for a long time, but because I was, very much, I watched like nothing but like conservative media and stuff like that. Like
You just
I
kind of
kind of,
push it to the side.
yeah, like I very much felt it, and it was unhealthy because I wasn't happy. I didn't know what was making me unhappy. It was that, but I kind of like, yeah, I shoved it aside. And then when that person that I mentioned, we kind of like made the very small subtle move of like laying her head on my shoulder. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should actually think about this now. maybe what I'm feeling isn't just, maybe everyone doesn't have these feelings like I was telling myself everyone did.
Hmm. Do you- uh, if this isn't too personal, do you mind like describing kind of like the situation that was like going on and everything? Like what was like the context around that?
We were at Luke's birthday party, and a mutual friend of mine and Luke's, I'll call her Conga.
Okay.
Dude, if you people who know their real names are gonna be laughing really hard at these nicknames I'm giving them. But Conga, we we were close friends, and they would make a lot of jokes towards me. What we both saw as jokes, that kind of like those like slash J unless or HJ thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
Like
Okay.
really,
I got
really,
you.
I'm gonna be real, really cringy stuff.
Mm.
I'm not gonna keep it real. Um, like that. So yeah, it was just that. And then we finally were at like a sleepover. So we were all staying the night, and she made the subtle move of falling asleep on me, and I was
Oh.
like, okay, yeah, maybe this is a little bit more. And there was a big story there with that person. Pretty honestly, if I'm gonna be real, that person isn't someone I'd like to get into unless I'm forced to in the future. It
Yeah.
did not end well. I'll say that much.
Ah.
She sucks, guys. But I mean, I will like, even though I dislike her, like I do have to like be happy that I know who I am, and I got pushed to figuring out who I was because of her. So I gotta at least I will be happy about that, even if I'm salty towards her.
So okay, so it was like there was kind of a build up for it, right? For the
Oh yeah, it wasn't out of nowhere. We very clearly like had feelings for each other for a while.
Hmm. Like how did so when did you like when did it start, I guess?
We were 13.
Hmm. Okay.
It started out as just we shared the cafeteria like lunch table together. We very clearly had like a crush on each other. People started calling it out before we did, and I was just like, no, I'm straight, and you know,
Okay.
then I was like, my bad. If I ever lied to you guys. That I think that's where Luke might have snapped actually, because they were like, why do you even lay your head? Why do you even let her do that? Why do you even let that happen? Why do you even blah 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 blah? And I'm like, well, because I want to let it happen, maybe. And then he was like, wait, like, are you like gay or something? And then I was kind of like, I don't know. And I think that's when that that one South Park episode where Cartman lost his mind with the have you seen South Park? Season
No,
4. That's season 4
no,
episode.
I don't
Okay.
want. No, not really.
Okay. Sorry then. There's like a theory that you got this, last man standing. There's a theory that this one episode in season 4 of South Park, where I won't explain the plot because it's too sussy. That's the episode where he lost his mind. Just that one episode made him go insane. That was this moment for Luke.
Oh, wow. So, okay. So would you say? So did it start like? So it kind of started like, you guys were talking in the cafeteria and things like that.
Yeah, we were just kids who had like crushes on each other at first.
So you had same-sex attraction like before that, or like?
Yeah, before we were both male identifying back then, and we both had and we were both attracted to each other.
Oh, okay. So okay, all right, I got you.
And we dated at a much later date, like so much later that like it ended like a couple months ago. Yeah, so that didn't last. Like that little crush that happened, that very short-lived crush did not was very short-lived at first, but we stayed friends and dated later.
Interesting. Okay. So would you say like how was like the whole explain like your social situation, I guess is the that's all I can...
Wait, with like being trans?
No, like in general, like you had to go to online school and everything, right?
Oh yeah.
So like how was that whole experience?
I hated it. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of people I know who love it, and I'm honest, right? Like, I'm very like I encourage people to go to public school. I think it's best to meet people, but some people prefer online. I'm like, good for you. But for me, it's just because I didn't, even though I always got bullied in school, it's like I need to know people,
Yeah.
Online, you just meet nobody. And of course, the couple friends I had happened to all be like psychopathic. So like, that didn't last.
So oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that was checkpoint in my rant. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, so like so when you said cafeteria, this was
that
in
was the
middle
little
school,
bit.
Oh, that was a little bit of time you had in public school.
Yeah, that was in the couple months I had in. I went in. I started in I think December of 2019, and then I got booted right back out because the coronavirus hit a couple months later.
Because the Rona.
Because the Rona.
It's rough.
That's why I got into. That's why we got into politics so early, because there's such a political divide all over the country.
Yeah, I remember.
So,
that.
There still is. It's still pretty bad, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just optimistic. I feel like it's a little better.
Yep, I think so.
Because like back then, it's like you see someone with a mask, you know what their political stance is. You see someone without a mask, you know
there's still people with masks on, dude.
I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people who wear masks because of acne.
That's kind of smart.
It kind of, because like if you wear it,
not health wise, but
yeah, because it's just gonna make your acne worse if you wear it too much.
Yeah,
I would if I didn't have acne like all over my face. Like, yay, it'll cover the lower half of my face.
Just wear a hazmat suit, dude.
No, I had a friend who was like, dude, the first year, it was this year. Every year he wore a mask to school, but this year he didn't. First day he got COVID.
That's crazy.
I'm like, that sucks, dude.
That is wild.
He's like, because everyone else stopped wearing one, so I didn't want to look nuts, but then I stopped wearing one and I got COVID.
That's wild.
It was funny. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I feel you. I don't feel you. I mean, I got COVID once. I think it was only once. Did I get it twice? I think I got it once.
I literally only got COVID like after I took the vaccine.
Did you get the vax?
Yeah, I vaxxed.
Was it like advertised? Was it like the flu thing where it's like it gives you the flu, so it's better to
No. Like you, it's not supposed to do that. It was supposed to be like it was literally just
right. I guess that wouldn't make sense, would it? It's the coronavirus, not the. Yeah,
No. Oh no.
That's a little silly.
No, I know what you meant. I know what you meant. Like it gives you like a
Yeah.
micro dosage, so then you. Yeah, I get what you meant, but it's not technically like they call it a vaccine, but it doesn't really work in the same way
Did
that
ever-
other vaccines do.
Yeah, it's like
It uses like
a
mRNA technology, I believe.
yeah, it's like a deflector. It doesn't, it's supposed to like help stop it, but it doesn't fully. I'm gonna be real with you. I do not know Corona politics.
Yeah.
Like
It's kind of
I don't-
crazy because like, wait, how do you pick up the flag? I had to F on that.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna purposefully stay out of it since I know I'm not educated.
Oh, fair enough.
But I mean, like, I got it once. The strand I got made me want to die. Like, I wasn't like I wasn't like unhealthy, right? Like, I wasn't like my life wasn't on the line, thankfully. But like, it was awful. Like, I did want to like. I was like, listen, if there's a God out there, if you want to kill me, now's the time, man. Like, like, get me out of here, please. But I got out of it eventually. I slept for like 12 hours every day. I had it.
Oh, I had it so bad. So, it was back in 9th grade. Yeah. So I spent like, no, 9th grade. No, it was summer break. It was after I passed 9th grade.
Okay.
And then I went to this. This is the first time I went somewhere without a mask. I stayed at the Nathan M. Wolf Law Cadet Academy for a week. It's a law enforcement academy.
Oh,
A lot of physical activity and everything, and somehow I lived through all of that, didn't get COVID. I come back and my mom and like my entire family has COVID.
Huh. I thought Biden was gonna die from COVID.
Honestly, yeah, me too.
Because it's like I know like with old people like especially with his age, I feel like he died from a cold. I was like, he has COVID, it's over, he's dead. But
Yeah.
supposedly
I
he's
was
still
very
kicking it.
Yeah, supposedly.
I'm saying supposedly because I know your theory, which I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna speak on your theory. I'm not gonna say I disagree with it. I'm just not gonna say I agree with it. I could. I mean, would I be
To be
surprised? Yes.
To
I
be
mean,
fair,
like
I did make that theory before he like came out to speak, so like it is pretty obsolete now. I do believe he's alive. I just barely though.
oh, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
he came out to speak. There were people saying it was AI'd.
Yeah, I thought it was just weird.
It did. It was weird.
It did. Like the video looked weird, right? Like we can say that,
did.
right? Yeah.
It did look a little weird. I feel like honestly with AI, I feel like people are saying like, oh no, now we're gonna get a bunch of fake videos. I feel like we have more people saying there's fake videos.
Yeah, they're just using it
more
as an
people-
excuse.
Yeah, we have more people saying videos are fake than fake videos actually like happening. Like the bigger issue is people claiming videos are AI.
Yeah. Like the Trump, they tried to say that the Trump assassination photo, like the iconic photo with his fist up, is like it's actually
Look,
AI
I'm not
generated.
gonna defend my side on that. What that has to be like who like
I don't know.
that had to have been
It's
like
ju- it-
3 people on CNN, right? Like that couldn't have been like I
It's-
take that with a grain of
oh, no, it was
salt on
like-
both sides.
It's like it's a popular opinion, but I think it's just mostly cope, honestly, because it's like
It's a popular. Are you sure? Like my
Yeah,
thing,
not
okay.
by popular. I don't necessarily mean like real life people popular. I just mean like online.
Okay, that's what I was
popular.
talking.
Yeah,
Like I'm not even like I'll admit like even I'm not a real life person. Like I like my views are like someone comes across me and they're like what like how could you believe that? And I'm like I'm sorry I'm that person on I actually uninstalled Twitter, but I was that person on Twitter. I had to uninstall Twitter. You know that awful video that was surfacing Twitter of the toddler?
No. What is the video of the toddler?
There was a video of a toddler surfacing Twitter being tortured. Both
Whoa.
violently and the, inappropriate way.
Oh, it's gross.
And it surfaced for 4 days.
4 days without any like bans or like
Yeah,
removals
and
or
then
anything?
and then the Twitter team was like, "Listen, if that stuff is posted out of rage, then we shouldn't have to take it down." And it's like,
That's so
no-
stupid. When was this? When
What?
was this?
this was old. I remember covering this on like my old like political channel, like before,
Before you just became political, you became the
before I was
politic.
just like before I owned it. Yeah, it's old. But yeah, that was I was sad. I was one of the people who saw that video. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm done with this app now.
That is rough.
I re-downloaded it a couple times to listen to the interviews they have on there.
Oh, I've heard they had some like really good ones.
Dude, the interviews they have though are like when they're like big ones, like with like big people, like the Elon Musk Trump one. It's like, especially the Ron DeSantis one is like infamous. Like,
Ron
go to
DeSantis
like,
one?
yeah, this was old. I think who interviewed Ron DeSantis? Was it just Elon? Who interviewed him? I don't remember. Basically, though, the servers get like they mess up. You can barely like because Twitter can't even handle it because it's such like a badly because the app wasn't made for that, and the new people who work there are just so bad at managing it. It's like just go to Rumble. Like Rumble, I don't like Rumble obviously, but it works. Like you're not gonna like. I don't like. I'm like it. You can use it. Like your stream isn't gonna crash because I remember he was saying like so many people are listening that it's crashing, and it was like 200,000.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's not like the whole world is listening to you.
Yeah, that's a fair criticism, honestly.
I mean, like I'm not even like again, like I'm not saying like again, like I'm not just saying this because I don't like Twitter. It's like go to Rumble then. Rumble. I don't like Rumble either. Rumble works though.
Yeah.
Do it on.
Didn't
do it
the
on
Daily
Kick.
Wire? I swear the Daily Wire made like a show on Twitter, didn't they? Didn't they?
I don't know. Sorry, I was thinking of when you said the Daily Wire and show in the same sentence. I thought of like that Mr. Barcham show, and I had
oh
flashbacks.
no, not that one. I don't.
PTSD.
Dude, anti-woke shows are like terrible. They're just as bad as woke shows, if not worse. No, I wouldn't say worse. They're just as bad.
Okay, like depends on what you mean by woke show. What would you call a woke show? I'll be real.
Woke?
I'll keep it real with you if a show is trying too hard to be progressive. As a progressive, I'll keep it real with you.
Hold on, I gotta think.
Because like some shows, like most
dude, the
progressive comedies
Acolyte is like wild.
I've never seen that.
You haven't? It's
No.
bad. It's really bad. And by woke, I don't like. What I mean
Most,
is like
like,
they try too
progressive-
hard, and it's not necessary. It's not always about like the. It's not always about like, oh no, diversity type thing. Sometimes it's about like the messaging of the show, like in the
Wait, you should have said
What?
Velma. I just thought of Velma.
Velma?
You should have said Velma.
I should say. You know what? Yeah, I changed my answer. Velma.
Can I be real with you?
Yeah.
Look, you know I'm one to be honest, right? Like I sometimes like. I didn't hate Velma. I'm gonna be honest. I actually watched Velma.
I don't. I
look.
I don't know how. I don't know how I feel about like talking to you anymore. Honestly, you don't
like.
think you
I didn't
thought that
actually
was, like,
finish it though, because I watched it at my dad's on HBO Max, and I left before I finished it.
The
so
finale's phenomenal. Do you want me to spoil it for you?
Did you watch the whole thing, or did you watch videos on it?
No, the whole thing. I mean,
You
I have
watched
to be
it? You
fair.
watched-
I have to be fair
Okay.
about it. If
Okay.
I can't make fun of anything unless I finished it. That's my policy.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, oh, you want me to spoil it? Okay, so she dies and she becomes a ghost. It's only
What?
satisfying because she dies.
Velma dies?
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. It's
Okay
amazing.
I just don't think it should have been Like I think the show would have been like
Just
the reason
make it
I was
your
okay
own
with
at
it-
that point. Like you took away Scooby
That-
Doo
yeah.
first of all. I mean, like
That's-
that's
I
kind of
think
like
that's
the
why
main thing.
That's why it was okay to me, because I feel like when I watched it, it was so separated from Scooby Doo that I didn't even think of Scooby Doo. When I was watching
actually,
it,
you know what? That's actually like pretty fair. Actually,
like
honestly.
it wasn't a purposeful thing. It's just like I started, oh yeah, okay, yay, Scooby Doo show, and then without even realizing it, like I completely disassociated it with Scooby Doo.
It's actually like
it's
yeah,
so-
that's actually like completely fair.
Yeah, so now maybe it's also because like I'm not a big Scooby Doo fan. When I
mean,
saw
I'm not
Norval,
either,
though,
but like
look, Norval pissed me off though.
they
Norval-
try too hard. They try too
First
hard.
of all, this character is wild. They take the stoner character
They turn
and make him black,
I love that.
which is
That's actually
insane.
yeah, that was one of my that was hilarious to me. It's like
And
when
but then
diversity goes too far.
But then they realize that, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And then they make him like super anti-drug. It's like, okay, now he's just he's just the only thing similar is his shirt.
Yeah.
Like his whole character was that he's a
It was
stoner.
funny though. It was funny though. I'm not gonna lie, it's hilarious.
It was pretty funny. Like I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was great.
I think Elvis the Alien put it pretty well because he watched that show and he's like, dude, like I'm not one of those people who are like, I hate this show because it's woke, but this show genuinely is awful and it's just too woke. and I don't like, I'm not like, I try not to use the word woke, I would say, mostly just because I find it cringe. But like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I don't like using it either, but when it fits the description, I will use it. I don't like being one of those people. Guys, this new woke game just came out.
I tend to say progressive. I'll say a game is progressive, like this, like progressive comedy.
I'll just say I'll just say propaganda. I'll just straight up.
I mean, like, obviously, I think I'm biased towards liking progressive comedy more because obviously, you know.
I mean, they agree with you. I mean, that's only natural.
Yeah. So I'm gonna like it more.
You're gonna be, and you're gonna defend it a little bit, even if it's like kind of mid.
Yeah, even if I disagree, I'm like, even if I agree, I'll be like, man, that was corny, but it's right, like, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's completely fair. I mean, I do that sometimes. So
I think what progressive comedy does right in a lot of aspects is like they usually don't, except Velma. Velma is like Velma was, I'll admit, that was a really, really bad progressive comedy. What usually they do right is they don't hyper focus on the progressiveness. It's like one like easy to miss progressive joke per episode. Like the Batman, you know, that was a good movie. There was definitely some progressiveness in that movie, right? There were some progressive messages, but it was like super quick. Like she's talking about the Penguin. She's like, I don't want to deal with all these white supremacists, blah 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 blah. It's like you almost don't even hear it.
Yeah.
But then with like this new Daily Wire show, it's like, look at this.
Look at this woke.
I miss the old norm.
that was crazy.
To be fair, that did bring an amazing meme. Have you like seen people meme it?
No, I haven't.
If people just say like about anything, they'll be like I miss the old COD zombies.
That's great.
Like I want, or I'm the old COD zombies. I want non-gay zombies or something like that. I don't fucking know.
That's funny.
Gay beer was fire too. Gay beer and the new norm was pretty fire. Wasn't like Dave Rubin one of the writers for
conservatism is just in a weird place, honestly.
Look, I remember telling my mom about that because my mom loves Dave Rubin. So she was like super like disappointed. It's funny because my mom's like, I don't know. She says like, I haven't heard him talk about it. It's funny because my mom like loves like, she loves like she'll listen to these like very right wing like the most right wing guy I think I heard her listen to is what's his name probably. What's that one? Oh, what's that guy's name? I don't even know anything about him. I heard him talk about like the white genocide one time.
White genocide.
I don't think he worded it like that, but he's like, have you noticed that white people are decreasing in this country?
That's a wild voice.
Exactly what he sounded like. I'll let you know when it comes to me. You might not even know him.
I don't think that would be Matt Walsh. Doesn't sound right.
No. I would know all the.
It wouldn't be anybody from the Daily Wire. I don't think. It's
no. It's not Daily Wire. I memorize everyone from the Daily Wire because I'm a mad woman. Like I'm insane.
There's no way your mom listens to Nick Fuentes. There's no way.
No, it's not Nick Fuentes.
Okay.
He's less cuckoo.
I'm trying to think.
I think. I don't know if it'll ever come to me.
Can you describe him? Describe his like physical features, his voice, whatever.
He's like, he reminds me of Matt Walsh. He makes like a lot of like he just says what people want to hear. You know?
Matt Walsh is so annoying. Like, do you know? Okay, so like he spent like his entire career like dunking on like video games, for instance, and then like Gamergate, like the Gamergate 2.0 that people call it, that comes out, and Matt Walsh just is just like, oh yeah, I'm defending video games from Woke guys. I'm the only one doing this. And it's so.
I love
annoying.
hearing like 40-year-old men be like, "Don't worry, kids, I'm gonna save your games."
Yeah, it'd be
You
different if he like
subscribe and
talked
buy
about
my
it like
book.
before, but he made it sound like he was just like always like into that sort of stuff, but like he actively was like very very like negative towards video games in general.
He like pulls up like
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh yeah, I love video games. In fact, my favorite video game is," and then he pulls up like his hand because he has the name written on it.
Dude,
GTA 5.
how much do you know about Gamergate, by the way?
I know a decent. I know more about like Gamergate 2.0 than I do about the old one.
Dude, the old one was amazing. It was dude, you had to be there. It was amazing. I'm being
Dude,
dead serious.
the only reason I know, go on. I know it's funny. I know it's funny.
It was great. Oh man, it was just amazing. Do you know this is how I found like Chris Raygun, Sargon. I didn't really listen to Sargon of Akkad, but the Act Man, like these were like kind of like they were anti-SJW, but they were left leaning. So I kind of had like I got like
Anti-SJW, but they're left leaning.
yeah. They weren't.
Remember that one Gumball episode making fun of SJWs?
All of that episode. That episode.
That was crazy.
That was great. What has this conversation divulged into?
Yeah, we're just friends, man.
We're just kind of chilling, I guess.
We're just chilling. Anyway, I think Gamergate was funny.
It was funny. It was fantastic. Unfortunately, some people are telling me that we won, but like we lost. We absolutely lost. Like
we've lost Gamergate. What do you mean
yeah.
we lost?
And
you want to win Gamergate?
I think you're gonna disagree with me, but
okay, let's hear it.
There's just so much censorship in game. Like I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, where's my skin tight suits and whatnot. But like censorship is censorship, and I don't believe in censorship, even if I disagree with like the media being displayed.
Well, like what kind of censorship?
Like I'm not talking about like nudity or anything. I'm just saying like, do you remember what's her name? Anita? Forgot her last name. You basically, so she would criticize all sorts of games, like Bayonetta, for instance. I never played Bayonetta in my life.
Oh, for sexualizing females?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't really care really about that. Like, it depends on in what way. Like, obviously, like a lot, like in animes, for example, that's a big issue. Like, if we're gonna talk about where it's an issue, talk about anime, how you have like a bunch of these guys going around like grabbing females' characters' breasts, and they're like, ah, and he's like, hee ha. And then they just move on like that's normal. It's like that's no. If you're gonna talk about messed up like stuff, I feel like that you should start there, not with this character in my video game's boobs are bigger than mine and it makes me sad. I sound like such like a like look. I know that's again.
You should do voice acting.
Going against my side. Thank you. I know that's going against my side. But like I'm just being honest.
I mean, it's just the objective truth. I mean,
I don't care if characters are well. Dude, every man in an action movie is ripped. Like, what's the issue?
See, you get it.
I get no.
You get it.
I get it. I get it. I'd say I have the normal view on this. Like I have the.
You have the non-feminist frequency. Oh, that's the name of her organization, Feminist Frequency. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, I have the feminist frequency, the average person view on that. I'd say, I don't care if character in a video game. Now, again, if it's like anime style, like just going around like essaying people as how funny, then don't do that, guy.
I mean, it's a little.
I almost died because I was trying to do a trick. Yeah, no, anime's a little goofy like that sometimes.
I remember when like being conservative meant like sort of being like. Or not remember because I wasn't around, but like I remember like reading about it, I guess is the best way to put it. Like how like conservatives wanted like GTA banned and all that
Conservatives
other
of what?
stuff. GTA banned and stuff like that.
GTA banned.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like because it was like rated M and like the kids were playing it, so they wanted like very tight restrictions on games. And I like how that position is like completely flipped in the political spectrum.
Oh, you mean how that was an issue? Yeah, that was a. Wait, what are you? Wait, what?
I'm sorry.
like how like
I'm sorry.
you're fine.
I was drawing parallels between like the Gamergate situation and then like before that. When it was, like, Fox
when
News
there was
trying to
like they have violence in video games and it's making
Yeah.
people shoot up schools.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened.
Yeah, I just think it's funny how like it seems like the political spectrum kind of like completely switched. Like when was that?
Yeah,
like
or-
early 2000s. I feel like they just like completely switched on like when it comes to like
Yeah.
free speech and things like that. Well, kind of. 'Cause,
I don't know what sides believed in what back then, but obviously, yeah, like that was so funny. It's like when like people were trying to like amaze you with these statistics. Like, did you know when it comes to murderers between like 18 and 35, like 75% of like them own video games? It's like I think 75%. I think like 100% of 18 to 35-year-olds own video games anyway. Like I don't because every young person plays video games.
Yeah.
Unless they're Amish. I like how we
Yeah,
can make
that's
fun
true.
of the Amish because the Amish will never hear us making fun of them.
It's actually that's true. That's a valid point.
Look, guys, you Amish people, respect, I guess. I don't know. I don't like it, but to live like that your whole life, that'd be pretty hard. I wouldn't do it. I don't like that kids are forced into it, but
Fellas,
to the adults. Good job.
Chat. I'm speaking to 2 viewers, by the way.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm watching just in case, so I can read chat as well.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. It's been 2 hours. Dude, you want to try Minecraft again? I'll
Angry
change the title and
emoji.
everything.
Dog,
Angry
it's
emoji?
not gonna work. It is not gonna work. I'm sorry, but did you leave?
No, I didn't leave. What's up? What's going on?
Okay, you said yes if I want to play Minecraft.
Oh, I know. I didn't leave yet though. But... Why did you leave?
No, I was just curious because if you left, I was gonna leave. But no, I don't. I'm gonna be real with you. I do not think Minecraft's gonna work.
Oh,
Also, I do not know
probably
if I'm awake enough for a new game.
That is completely fair. It is 1 o'clock for me right now. Or
Bro.
12:51.
Yeah, it's almost 12 here.
Ooh, 4
Lost in
hours
the
of
sauce.
sleep.
Dude, you're
4
nuts. I
hours
can't.
of sleep. I'm doing it.
I watched a movie today, chat. Dude, are you a movie? You strike me as a movie person. You a movie person?
Somewhat, yeah. Kind of.
You should get letterboxed.
What?
You should get letterboxed.
No.
Why?
No clue what that means.
You should get it. It's an app that lets you rate movies, and you can friend people and see what they rated those movies.
Oh, that's right. I saw screenshots.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah. That is neat.
And I know no one who owns. I mean, I know a couple people, but like no one I know like closely. So it's like I always trying to guilt people I know into getting it, so I can see what they rate movies, and I have an excuse to talk to them. So I'm gonna be like, oh wow, you rated this movie that?
This video, no, I'm sorry, this isn't a video. Too
Stream.
used to the format, man. Too used to the format.
Dude, I do that all the time. On Twitch, I'll be like, whoever left this comment, sent that chat. What are you gonna say about this video though?
So this video.
Yeah.
This stream was sponsored by what's Letterboxd.
Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I'm actually just goated what's happening.
Ooh.
Not to jinx it, but oh my god. Oh no, I'm out of ammo.
wonder what happens if you like get a sponsorship and then you just say some like really heinous things in that video. Like
I think
can they sue you? Can they sue you?
I think it's in the contract somewhere not to. I don't know. I honestly have no idea.
Because
I know
I would
maybe
do
it
that.
just stops.
I would do
maybe
that
it just
for the
stops.
funny, dude.
Maybe people purposefully just don't because they want to get more sponsorships in the future.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because
of
I know
course.
videos where it's like, I can't say that I'm sponsored by these people. So like it's possible that like I bet in the contract somewhere it's like don't say anything, bigoted or,
Let's go 5K. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's. But then again, like, how would you even be able to, determine what's bigoted and what's not? Like, how would you?
I mean, if
that
you're
would be,
like
the court of public opinion. I mean, obviously, there's like clear lines.
Yeah.
But, like,
I mean, like, I feel like it's a thing of, like, they would know. Like, obviously, I think they can assume if they just see Dan TDM, it's like, okay, I'm going to assume that Dan TDM's not going to get political in this next video.
oh yeah,
We'll
of
probably
course.
be safe. Like, if someone's, like, sponsoring Ben Shapiro, like, they know what they're getting into.
Oh yeah, of course. All I'm saying is like, oh yeah, no. Actually, I think that title covers it. That is true. How do you feel about like Nick Fuentes like complimenting Kamala Harris? By the way,
Wait, what? Oh, for what?
Yeah.
Wait, for what? For
he
what?
he was like straight up like simping for her, dude, for a campaign and everything. Like, oh, she's so trendy. She's so.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Why? What
Yeah.
would he like about her?
Yeah, he's a weird guy, actually. Like, I don't know how I feel about him. He's a really weird guy.
Dude, that's
Weird individual. I disagree with him.
That is
So, like,
silly.
I can't determine whether he's like this is gonna sound crazy. I can't determine
Dude,
whether he's like a Fed or something, or like a plant, or if he's like,
Dude, like
I'm
like
being
he's
legit,
like
because he's just like
No,
such
like-
a weird person.
he sets up like a GoFundMe so anybody who donates money he can like investigate.
It feels so weird.
My first introduction to him was watching the Ye Kanye the Ye West.
Oh, that whole thing.
Yeah, interview with Alex
he's a
Jones,
weird-
and he was just there.
He's a weird guy. You know, I'm pretty sure he got caught on stream like flirting with like two dudes, and he's supposed to be like this trad, the trad.
That's awesome.
Like what did he call himself?
Chad's like top G alpha
No,
dog.
No, that's not right. What does he call himself? I think I really don't want to misquote.
Omega Alpha Omega
'cause-
Sigma.
but he calls himself or self-described white nationalist and everything, and like a Christian
nationalist.
Christian, not fascist.
Oh, you're right. He is a self-proclaimed fascist.
I think he is, right? Hold on.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't want to put words in his mouth.
I don't know if he was memeing. Like, I've heard people say that enough people say that he said that to know he said it, but I don't know if he was memeing. Like, okay, you know what? Fine. If supporting Trump makes me a fascist, then I'm gonna be a fascist. Like, I don't know if he was like doing that, or if he was like, oh no, fascism's actually awesome.
And
I
know he was talking about I knew he was talking about like a theocracy.
I know that. Yes, he did believe.
But I don't
Him
know.
and Alex Jones both believe in the government should just basically theocracy.
Alex Jones too. He strikes me as more of like a libertarian.
Well, wait, no. Okay, no. Okay, no, I remember what I'm thinking of now. Apologies for the misinfo. Alex Jones wants a Christian party.
Oh, okay. I mean, that doesn't really sound bad at all. Yeah, I mean,
in like a non like two government system that would make sense. But we have a two governments. I mean, we have two government system, two party system. So like
two government system, man.
Two governments.
That's
We got
rough,
two
man.
governments. But yeah, no, we have a two-party system. So I was like, why just make another party that will never get elected in? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, we kind of have a two-party system, but at the same time, we have like factions within those parties. So it's kind of weird. Like, we have like the same politics, I feel, as like stuff in Europe. It's just that we have the facade of a two-party system almost.
Like, what do you? Oh, you mean like because there's a lot of people in the parties that disagree with each other?
Yeah, I mean, there's factions. There's like sub factions within the Republican Party, for instance. You have
like
neocons. You have like the new right. You have the old right. You have.
I mean, that's fair, but like it does make it really hard for independents, like because like what about people who just, which I'm not an independent. I wouldn't like most people, most normal people are like, oh yeah, I would vote. I want to vote for an independent. Like me, I'm like, no, I wouldn't, just because I admit I'm too left. I'm gonna vote for a leftist, just
no
like you would
what,
probably vote for a Republican.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, even if I disagree with some of the positions, to me, it's kind of like lesser of two evils, and I'm sure that's the same for you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I am not. I am by no means a Democratic loyalist. I'm a leftist, so it's like those right wingers who are like, I mean, the government will never say what it really needs to say, like we should bring back slavery, but it's what we got is good. I'm like that, but of the left party or the left side. So it's like
Crazy.
I'm too left basically for the Democrats. I'm too left for like a Democrat to agree with me probably. But I do see them as, I'm like, okay, well, if I have to pick between the two, it's going to be them.
Like nowadays, it seems like a very interesting, like, so not only do we have like factions, but I feel like we have like, there's like a divide in both parties between like the more like the older generation and then like the young Turks. Not to be confused with the news channel. I mean like the actual definition.
I was thinking of the young. What's the definition of the young Turks?
So basically, it's
young Turkish people.
It's no. It's a word for like basically like younger, like more extreme people.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny because
that's where it comes.
Really
that's
funny.
What it's called.
Because a lot of people consider like people really far on the left consider the Young Turks like pretty like they have some right wing views. That's kind of funny.
Oh yeah, it is kind of funny actually.
I mean, like I'm fine with the Young Turks. I'm somewhere in between them. Like I have no issue with the young. Like I disagree with them on a good bit, but I can bear I'll listen to them for news sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree with them on
I find it funny that they base their name off of like such a phrase. It's
a group that they're not like a part of.
Yeah, I mean it's just yeah. I mean, well, it's just a name for like any group that's like radically like rebellious.
I mean, like they're further left than the Democrats in office. I'll give them that. Like they're not like but they're definitely not like.
I haven't really seen like Republican stuff from them, or not you know what I mean, like just
Young Turks
stuff. Yeah.
Like when it comes to like Democrats in office, like I Democrats in office are more right wing than most leftists. I'd say the Young Turks is in between the Democratic Party and like me,
Yeah.
In between the Democratic Party and like Hassan.
Where would you like consider yourself in like? Oh, actually, I never got to ask you. Like, how do you feel about like Kamala's everything?
Oh, how do I feel about Kamala?
Yeah, like her getting picked presidential nominee and all that other stuff. Like, how do you feel about the whole situation?
So I'm kind of glad, right? Because I am glad that it just went to her, and here's why.
Okay.
I do think she would have won because who would go against her? Like Marianne Williamson, Dean Phillips. Like I think she would.
I see what you're saying, but like
unless like Bernie or something went against her, then he'd stand a chance. But I don't think he would.
But like I don't know. I feel like you should give the people a chance to vote, and like worst case scenario, she just wins anyways.
Yeah, but the thing is like because I mean, so here's my view on that.
If we go off polls, right? If we're like, oh well, polls say that she's like super popular. I mean, the poll said Hillary was super popular, was more popular.
Which I don't.
Hillary
which was weird because she was like a historically like awful pick as a nominee. Like they picked like someone from like one of the nation's most hated families. Like okay, great.
I mean, wouldn't you say Kamala's like a kind of a bad pick too? I mean, like during the primary, she didn't get any delegates. She was not a very popular person.
the reason I'm glad that they just went to her is because there's like a rule in streaming, right? A rule that a lot of streamers understand is do not put a poll up for what game you're going to play. Excuse me. And the reason for that is that if you just play a game, people will, if they want to watch it, they'll stick around and watch it. If you put in like a, if you put up a poll and people vote on their game, and different game wins, so you play the different game, there are going to be people who go, no, I wanted to play the other game. Maybe I will leave and watch someone else who plays the game I want them to play. So basically there would be like Bernie or Busters, right? Like people like who in 2016 who voted for Bernie because they didn't want Hillary. I think there would have been people like that. So it's good to kind of keep the Democratic Party united, I guess.
I hear what you're saying, but to me, I mean,
and I get what you mean.
Does that not sound like undemocratic a little bit?
See, it's the thing of like I do get where you're coming from, but I think it's fair since Biden won. Like people voted Biden to win the primaries with Kamala as his vice. And I think it's, as a vice president does, they pick up where the president left it off if the president has to, drop out. So I do think it's fair. I think if, I don't know, like Gavin Newsom, if it just went to Gavin Newsom, I'd be like, okay, no, that's too random. But like, I do get people who wanted to vote, right? I get people who, if they wanted someone else, I understand it. But I do think since Biden and Kamala were already running anyway, I think it's fair for her to pick up where he left off.
I don't know. Like, to me, again, least popular candidate in the primaries, didn't win any delegates, which means she didn't win anything from any state at all. She wasn't even on the polls, really. I think it's just a bit strange, that's all. And if Biden's dropping out, why hasn't he resigned yet?
Okay, so I don't like Biden. So like I'm not gonna speak in his defense here.
Sure.
I think a good reason for him not to I think his reasoning for not resigning is because then Kamala would be president. And I think what she at the very least should do is separate herself from the campaign as much as possible. Right?
She was vice president. I mean,
right, but like that's the thing is people did not like Biden's term.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm speaking,
and she's tethered to it.
That's why I'm speaking like again. I'm not speaking like for her right now.
I know you're speaking like
what she should do.
Mean.
What she should do is she should be like, because I mean she could run off Trump's thing. Like Trump said, vice president doesn't matter. She could be like, see, it doesn't matter. Blah blah blah. Put it into her own words. Whatever. Yeah. I'm saying. I think she is doing that. I think she's trying her hardest to at least a little bit, be like, oh yeah, I'm different. Like I'm new, because what we had before me was this really old. Obviously, she's not going to say that because they were they have respect for each other. But what they had before her was like this really old, ragged. Like I'd be mean because the poor guy is like clearly out of it. But this old guy who doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
And she's this new choice, this new, at first, very progressive seeming, and then she kind of catered to a lot of right-wing positions in a really weird way in the recent interview.
Yeah, that is really funny.
That was so weird. It's like
it is weird. Like, one thing, it was really weird. I didn't appreciate that at all. Like, I know...
Why?
Who's
Dana Bash could be... Exactly? Dana Bash could be like, Kamala, will you drop out of the race and let a Republican win? And she'd be like, yes, of course. Yeah, why? Of course I will do that. It was silly. It was weird.
I mean, and like another thing, like, I mean, you could. How do you feel about like Biden's like mental health, like?
I'm not gonna. Again, I'm not a Democratic Party loyalist. I think it's been over dramatized a couple times. Like I've seen like a couple clips of like him just like walking.
Yeah.
And he walks old, but like Trump walks old too, and people be like, he just looks so old. I was like, really? He's just an old guy. But then there are moments where it's like, okay, yeah, Biden is very obviously,
Like out of it.
not fit to run such a stressful position. Because like the being the president is one of the most stressful jobs, if not the most stressful job in the world. It ages you. You could look before and after photo of any president, no matter how young, they age by the end. If Biden ran again, he would die.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
All right. So let's say. Okay. Well, how did you feel like toward his entire administration, like overall, like mentally competent for most of it, or like?
He started out with definitely like too old, but like not entirely demented, I would say.
Like
he
first
was
year
definitely
or first 2 years were like that. How would you measure that?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I did not follow it close enough to give you an exact time frame. But I can tell you, even by the beginning, he was definitely clearly too old. I think Trump's too old too. I think they're both too old. So I think it was very evident by the beginning that he was too old. But now it's just 4 times more evident. Thankfully, he dropped out, not because he wanted to, but because
he was pressured.
Yeah, I mean, like he's very much like in the White House. It's a thing like. If you have 1 term, you're a loser. People didn't like you. If you have 2 terms, you're a legend.
Yeah. He
wanted that 2nd term.
Well, that's not true. It depends on the circumstances too, but because I can't remember his name. See, I'm not really proving my point here, but like I think a lot of people admired a president who served 1 term, and I can't remember his name because he thought he got done what needed to be done, so he just.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm not saying that people don't. I'm saying like I think you could absolutely serve 1 term, and if you think I think if Biden just said no, I'm too old, I wouldn't even say that was noble. I mean, that should have been obvious.
Yeah,
that shouldn't even be an expectation. I mean, sorry, that's an expectation, but I'm not saying you are a loser if you only serve 1 term. You're a president, no matter who you are. If you get a presidency, it's pretty impressive in my opinion, no matter what side. But in the political sphere, it's like you feel like, oh wow, if I only get 1 term, it's like people didn't like me.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was kind of Biden's narcissistic viewpoint. How long do you want to go? By the way, I just realized. For 1 hour, 2.5 hours.
One more
okay.
Question.
You want to end the game, or do you want to do this one more for the question?
Your choice.
I'm getting sleepy. I'll turn the game off for the last question.
All right. So, how do you like? Do you think Kamala knew about Biden's mental health and everything else? I mean, she had to have, right? I mean, she's vice president.
So at first, I don't know. I genuinely can't. I feel like probably now, yeah. Like there's. I mean, like by the end. Oh, before the recent debate with Biden? Oh yeah, she knew. I mean, even like everyone knew. Like especially like how much time she must have had to spend with him. Like yeah, she knew.
So I mean,
like even people knew. Like it made it more obvious to us, but even before the debate, like everyone knew he was old. Some people were just kind of coping.
So I mean, like I don't know. I don't think I'd want to go for a candidate that would just like lie so blatantly about like the current administration's progress. Like,
I mean, it's a thing of like
health.
It's a thing of like again, lesser of 2 evils. Again, like I think at the beginning it was weird. Kamala seemed so progressive, and it was like, wow, maybe we are going like. Obviously, she's not as left as I am, but we're going step in the right direction. And then the more she went on, it's like she's trying to cater more to the right. It's like what's happening? Why are you flipping the switch?
Yeah, that's the new narrative. She's been trying to like.
It's so weird.
They even had like AI generated. Not everything. I'm not gonna blame everything on AI generation. I'm sure like some of these were legitimate, but they had like AI generated images of like Republicans. You didn't see that, but those were air quotes. And
wait, what do you mean like AI generated images of Republicans?
Images of Republicans, and then they have like a some sort of like anecdotal. It'll be like, I was a Republican for 15 years, but now I'm voting for Kamala Harris. That kind of stuff.
Maybe she's catering to that.
Yeah, she's trying to. I think she's trying to like.
I mean,
grab the
fracking is for
Republican vote.
Pennsylvania, right? Like fracking. Like the reason like she's flipped the switch on banning fracking is because she wants Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Which is I get why she wants Pennsylvania. It's a key state. She could just do what everyone does with fracking, do what even oil companies are doing, and could keep her position and be like, we just don't want to have to rely on fracking. That would win her. Pennsylvania would understand.
Honestly, just go nuclear. She would win everybody's vote. Just go nuclear. It'd be so great.
I like.
Just go nuclear.
Go nuclear
Please.
is a great. Yeah, I think go nuclear solves everything.
Yeah,
Every
exactly.
problem.
Yeah.
But what was your question? Oh yeah, again, it's like I don't even love Kamala. It's just the lesser of two evils thing. I think she might have even been doing like a little coping to herself in that, like, oh yeah, I think Biden's fine. Yeah. That's
So
my
there's a
answer to that
chance.
question.
There's a okay, I
Is-
have time. You will be a Trump voter. You will be a Trump voter.
What?
No,
No,
you
I
can't.
don't-
You won't
no.
you won't be because you won't be of age yet. Never mind.
No, wait, no. It's not that it's not that there's a chance. I'm still definitely.
There's a chance.
I still definitely prefer her.
No, there's a
I
chance. There's a chance. No.
Just because I don't like her.
Exactly.
You don't understand. It's because I'm more left than her.
There's a chance. There's a chance.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for having me on your interview. I hope that other viewer enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Hello, Broken's grandma.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.